Imperial space. 4 stations attacked simultaneously. The Neo-Marilist Liberation Army has claimed responsibility. The Empire is calling all commanders for assistance. Things are certainly happening in Elite Dangerous. Hi guys, and welcome to a very special show. I'm Arthur, Community Manager here at Frontier Developments, and I am very, very pleased to be joining you tonight for what's going to be a really exciting show. I apologise if I'm a bit all over the show. There's a lot of news to cover. I'm quite excited. I have pads and notes in front of me with stuff I have to tell you guys and girls. So yeah, I'm going to get into it as quick as I can, because like I said, there is a lot to talk about. So I'm not going to do it alone. I'm going to be joined by my erstwhile colleague, my very good friend, my not follically challenged comrade, Bruce. Hello, Bruce.
Hello, guys. Hello, Arthur. Thank you so much for having me. 07, all of you wonderful commanders tuning in today. We've got a very exciting stream here for you, so yeah, super keen for this one.
Yeah, I mean, so I'm going to give you a rundown of what we're going to try and go through today. So obviously, I'm sure you're probably aware that there's been some things going on in the Elite Dangerous universe. I'm sure we may have woke up this morning to find out that there were stations that had been simultaneously attacked, and there is some speculation about what's attacked them. I will tell you this, because one thing I will say, we will get into this in a bit more detail later on. We are very much aware of what the story arcs are. And I say arcs, that's plural. We are very aware of what the story arcs are, where they start, when the middle point is, where the end point is. Nothing is not deliberate. So we want you to speculate. We want you to go dig in. There is a reason things are the way they are. And that's all I'm going to say in it, because half the fun will be for you guys to sort of explore it. But that said, that's where we're at. I guess we woke up, some of us woke up, if you're having a nice lie-in today, you woke up to a GalNet article saying that these stations had been attacked. Now, GalNet is a very passionate area for a lot of fans of Elite Dangerous, and I'm aware of that. Bruce is aware of the community team, aware of it, and we've been listening to you guys. But obviously, I'm aware that there'll be some people that are relatively new to Elite that may not understand or know what GalNet is. So, Bruce, because I like your voice, could you just go through? Can you just go through and just a brief overview of what GalNet is all about?
Yeah, of course. So I guess there are 2 ways we can identify what GalNet is, and the first would be in-universe, which is it's the sort of news and communication information aggregate owned by the Pilots Federation, really to sort of clue in all of you licensed commanders on what's going on in around the galaxy. Out of universe, i.e. for us, it's a way to add some depth and I would have said world building, but really galaxy building to Elite Dangerous through narrative, story, and it comes in the form of sort of written articles describing events that are happening in game. So that's a nutshell.
So it's like the news, like the real world news,
like the news, yeah,
but just honest.
Yes, that's
there we go.
way
Right. Okay, cool. So that's what GalNet is. So obviously, GalNet has been around for, well, I guess since Elite's inception. There's been a lot of articles previously. I did go digging through sort of the archives. There's been a lot of cool threads. Can you give us an idea of some of the threads that we've had in the past, or maybe the most recent ones, Bruce, might be more relevant, I guess?
Yeah, I can, absolutely. So this year we had, the last post was back in June, and it was when the nanomedicines developed by Vitadyne were made available to the Galactic market, and there was a whole article about that. The 2 ones prior were in January, talking about Universal Cartographics updating the names of systems in the Witchhead Nebula. And then also the Thargoid incursions occurring in the same area, the Witchhead Enclave. And those are the only articles we really had this year. So it's no secret or surprise to anybody in the chat when I say we haven't really had the same number of GalNet articles this year as we had in the past. And obviously before then they were far more frequent and regular. But all of that is changing as of, right now.
So right now. I mean, this is one article. And I will tell you this much: expect more and expect them soon. So we're pleased to announce, obviously, that GalNet is running back up to normal speed, or maybe even faster, maybe in a higher speed. Who knows? So this is part one. So obviously, the first article today is around the attacks on the stations in Imperial space. Now, whilst this is not a community goal, and we'll talk about those in a little while. Whilst it's not a community goal, there are ways you can actually help these stations out. So you can go into the stations and you can repair the stations, or supply the stations to repair. But more importantly, you can actually save the people on the stations, because these stations are burning and on fire. So one of the things you can do is go into the station and actually rescue some people. So this is what Bruce and I are going to attempt to do. Now, I will be, for absolute full disclosure, to prove that A, I am not infallible, and B, I'm also not a nice person. I am going to let Bruce fly, because I tried this earlier on and I absolutely smashed the beluga straight into the station, because I wasn't really paying attention. And two, we have had a beluga sat outside the station for that opening shot for about 3 hours, which means we have let people burn for 3 hours. So that's not great on our part. So what we're going to do, we're going to jump into the game. I'm just going to flick back to the game, which is this one. Okay, and if you wanna start doing your thing.
Yeah, sure thing. I chose the beluga because I thought, I need a ship that can hold a whole bunch of passengers, and it was kind of the first thing that came to mind. There may be sort of strictly better ships for this, but it just kind of felt right. All of our passengers will be flying economy class because, well, if you're a refugee from a burning station, you probably can't afford to be that choosy.
Yeah, I mean, in fairness, you are being rescued. I mean, we were laughing earlier on because they were getting impatient to get off the ship earlier on, and we were like, we've just saved you from, well, I say we, Bruce has just saved you from extermination. Arthur has rescued you only to fly you into a wall. But, they could be a bit more patient. Now, I'm using an external camera here to try and show you some of the damage to the station. We're at Garrido, which is not linked to Bruce. Well, maybe it is. Who knows? We're at Greedo Port. So I'm trying my very best to show you external camera. I don't have the skills that, say, Reenie does from the Burrs. So apologies for those of you watching me and being like, oh my god, can you please just keep a steady eye on? So this is the problem that I had. The beluga is massive, and Bruce is going to make this look really, really easy by threading that beluga, that huge chunk of metal, straight through that slot there. I'm going to look at the chat and see what's actually happening. Someone's asking,
no
so why is there Goid damage on the station? I can't tell you that. What I can tell you is that damage is deliberate. So I will let that will be, I guess, will be explained maybe later on. Maybe there'll be stuff for players to sort out and work out. But I will tell you that all you see now is deliberate. Nicely. Oh, this looks like it's going to be good. Oh, I need to get through the station. Oh, there we go. Oh, and we're in. I was never worried, Bruce.
As is often the case on the topic of the Goid residue on the damaged stations, as is often the case when attacks or tragedies like this occur, there's a lot of confusion. The news is scrambling to get the information out there, but not everything is confirmed yet. So that was kind of simulated or represented in the news and the rumors that are still currently spreading while things are being figured out.
But yes, I will tell you this much: the damage that you see is intentional. Sorry, that is my monitor. My graphics setup. Sorry, I was saturation is very high. Yes, I do apologise. That is my graphics setup. I've had to bring down my old PC because my new one this morning decided to stop working, which is as the want of PCs. Some do the terrorists have FARC bombs? Maybe ? It's a good link. Who knows? Let's get back inside. So what Bruce is doing now, so once you get into the starport, what we need to do is go to the station services, or starport services, sorry. You want to look at the passenger board, and you'll find there'll be a huge list of passengers to be picked up who are obviously desperately fleeing the station. So just accept all of those, and remember to go through the different people you can pick up missions from. Fill up all those cabins, especially in a big ship like the Beluga, to get the maximum amount of money. Not that we want to prey on people that are obviously desperate to save their lives, but we clearly do. And then we're gonna take off, fly seamlessly again out through the letterbox and onto a rescue ship, which will be demonstrated by Bruce perfectly. Now, the other thing I can't show sadly because I'm in
Warning. Temperature critical.
Watch out, Bruce. Because I'm in multi-crew, is you can't see some of the UI glitches that are on Bruce's screen right now. So because of the damage in the station.
Yeah, so what with everything being on fire, it's pretty darn hot in here, and things are malfunctioning and breaking. You'll notice your ship is, well, it will heat up very rapidly if you decide to actually go inside the burning station, so don't linger too much.
I apologise for missing some of the names on here, but one of the questions was, is this a one-off activity for GalNet? Absolutely not. This is the start of... And I'll go into it in more detail after we've rescued these civilians. You can do this, Bruce. I believe in you.
We're having some issues.
Oh, we're moving. We're moving. I was never worried, Bruce.
I was absolutely calm the whole time.
Yeah. Yeah. So no, it's not a one-shot deal. You weren't panicking, Bruce. I was panicking for you.
It's these darn ship kits, you know. It's the big old spoiler on the back end which got caught, I think. But that's okay. We are clear of the toast rack now.
Hardly. It says it should be.
Or maybe it might have been my landing gear. Yeah.
Okay. Thanks. Well, look. Hey, look. We're talking about GalNet now. We've only just started. Once we get back, I have more news to share with you all. So it's not just about GalNet. But thank you very much for the love. Yeah, we know it's important to you guys. We know you've waited for it. We have been listening. And when we come back and I talk about the next segment, which will be about narrative and how it's going to work, Bruce is then going to talk to you about what else we have been cooking up behind the scenes. We have been very, very busy, and again, I can only thank you for your patience. Like I say, it's been a pretty hectic 9 weeks, as Bruce will attest, as will Paul, as will Stephen.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, we're now on our way to the rescue ship, which the Pilots Federation very kindly placed outside these damaged stations. It's somewhere that you can drop off supplies, as well as refugees, which we are about to do presently. I just saw someone ask in the chat if this means GalNet is back on a regular basis. That is absolutely 100% what it means. We are delighted to confirm.
Who knows? There may even be an article tomorrow. You just don't know. I know. Bruce knows. I'm excited. I'm sorry. I'm a fan of Elite. I have been a fan of Elite, as is Bruce and the guys. I'm just really excited to be able to bring this back for you guys, and it's the dev team worked really, really hard on this, and I'll go into that in a moment. So this is definitely not just a one article and done. Again, I apologise for my really janky camera movements here.
I was having a time trying to find the
sorry,
the landing pad.
There's a lovely little lazy loop you did there, Bruce. I enjoyed that.
I went the scenic route all the way around first, just to show off what it looks like. Absolutely intentional. It's a bit of a hefty ship. This. It's got some weight to it. But we should be able to bring her home nice and easy.
Oh, I've got the camera. I'm reading chat and I've not moved the camera. Sorry, that would have been awkward for everyone on stream. I do apologise. I was reading the chat. That looks like a particularly nice landing you were coming in on there, Bruce.
Oh, don't say that. Now I'm going to be all over the shop.
No, you got this. I believe in you. Lean forward and accelerate. There we go. Gently does it. They've already been. There we go, and
just got to reverse a tad. There we go.
Down. And you're down. Cool. So we've landed, which is good. Which is always nice. That you didn't crash like I did. So, there we go. So that's basically one of the ways you can help these systems. Now, obviously, there's 4 that are under attack, so they are available to be if you could get out there in your ships. Doesn't matter what size. Just to make sure you've got passenger cabins if you're going to be trying to rescue some people because they do need somewhere to be, and obviously you can deliver materials to the station. So a lot of questions in chat about is GalNet this is going to be on one article and then we're done sort of thing, and will it affect? Will the articles be directly related to in-game events, or will they just be news articles? Well, I will talk about the narrative and what's happening. So the dev team, there's a dedicated dev team put together purely for in-game content, and that's to ensure that we can deliver something that's really cool and fun for players. So it's not a one and done thing. So there's a really cool guy called Lawrence who's heading up the dev team and putting this the guys who will be doing various things in game and for GalNet behind the scenes, and we're working sort of hand in glove with those guys. It's not a one and done thing. We spent a lot of time going through various plots and threads and arcs. So to answer your question, no, it's not one and done. Yes, some of these GalNet articles will relate to things actually happening in game, such as the article today. Some will just be news pieces that may be background information for what's coming and will be there for you to maybe piece together and try and work out the bigger picture. These arcs are, all of them, as I said at the start, will have a start, a middle and an end. We know what those start, middle and ends are because we've basically written them, so we know where this story is going to be going, or we were there when they were wrote. Each of these 3 points will have, like, with the exception of the start point, obviously, but the middle point and end point will have a pivot, which depends on, I guess, what you guys will do in Galaxy. Well, you'll be able to affect these stories and how they pan out, and that's a big part of what we wanted to do. But there's a bigger part to this than just all of what we just said there, which is all of these arcs, and there are many arcs. Some of them will be political, some of them will be combat focused, some of them will be with all different factions, etc., etc. They link into an even bigger arc, and that arc we have scoped until 2022. That's the scope of this one giant arc, and within that there is lots of different stories. Now, another really important thing to stress, and it is really important, is this is content for Elite Dangerous. For players that are in Universe now, this is content for all of you that are playing the game. Of course, it will cross over with Odyssey when Odyssey launches, because the narrative is the same Galaxy. But the content, the in-game narrative and content we're writing now is for everyone. So if you pick up Odyssey or you don't, you'll still this narrative. You won't miss out on the narrative. It will be for you. So it's a big piece of work, and I'm sorry, and I know it's been frustrating for people when we've said we have nothing to say, but that's generally because for this sort of stuff, for that scope of work, for us to try to put together a coherent story with multiple arcs that can be affected has taken a long time. So again, thank you for your patience, but that should answer some of the questions. Reference, is GalNet just going to be here for a little while and then would it go back? And someone asked in the chat, will some previous threads be picked up? Quite possibly, yes, but I'm not going to tell you which ones they're going to be. Yeah, and it's like I'm excited. I feel like a DM with the world's biggest sort of gaming board. We are DMs in a galaxy-wide game, and it's fantastic. Most most Dungeons and Dragons games are 6-7 players. We have hundreds of millions of players that are taking part. It's so cool to be in this position. Very privileged actually to be in this position. Any other questions on this? Oh, someone's popped up there about community goals. Bruce, I think it's fair that you should have this one.
Community goals.
What are they first, in case people don't know what they are?
Sure. So a community goal, I guess, in a summary, is are events which players can contribute to and sort of determine the outcome of, whether that be success or failure, or this faction wins versus the other faction, or whatever that may be. And they're usually tied to some narrative part of the game, and sort of change the face of Elite Dangerous for all of the time thereafter. That's a very quick nutshell summary of what a community goal is. And yeah, we actually do have some news on community goals.
Well, I'll ask you a question that's in the chat a lot. It's like, there's two questions, Bruce. I'll ask them both to you. So, Bruce, are community goals coming back?
In a word, yes. Community goals are coming back hand in hand with GalNet.
And are they coming back soon?
They're coming back very soon. So we have our first community goal to kick all of this off planned for next week.
Yes.
It's right around the corner.
Yeah, it's right around the corner. So community goals are coming back. They are going to be a regular occurrence. Some of them, I think all of them. I'm trying to recall because the roadmap. I'll be honest, the plot that I've seen had changed a lot of times because obviously all the different iterations we've gone through. But I'm fairly certain 90% of these will link into something within that story. But yes, the community goals are going back, which is fantastic. So I hope that makes people. I think a lot of people saying yes, happy, weeping with excitement. So yeah, I'm really pleased that everyone's happy with GalNet and community goals. I think these have been, we know you've missed them, and I'm just glad that we can deliver them back to you and in a cohesive way, or a way that we think you're going to enjoy.
I like the way you described the GalNet articles earlier, and the fact they all have their own threads which will intertwine and build a longer sort of string, if you will. Another sort of way to look at it is sort of a beautiful mosaic where players will be able to look at a story, piece things together, speculate, discuss, try and predict what's going to happen next or what direction things are going in.
Yeah.
And at the same time, those articles and those events will tie into the community goals, describe what's happening, what the outcomes are, and in that way you guys will actually be able to interact with this arc and this story hands-on and drive the direction it goes in at various crucial points. So really, really exciting stuff.
Yeah, and as I said, I said this when I first joined Frontier, and we are striving to be way more open, I guess, than maybe we have been before. And I will tell you quite openly and honestly that we've seen this plan and we know it runs up to 2022. I know in detail what happens within the next 6 months. Absolute detail. I know what's happening up until for the next 6 months, sort of threads that are in place, storylines, articles, etc., etc., etc. After those 6 months, it thins out considerably, and there's a reason for that. That's because we're waiting to see what happens, what you all do, and with the stories we throw at you, we're waiting to see what you do and how that affects the narrative and the articles that will come out and the goals that then follow. So when I say I know the arc, I do absolutely know the arc. So does Bruce, so does Paul, so does Stephen. Do I know in detail beyond 6 months? No. I know parts. I know key parts where key things are happening, and obviously I know where they are, and so does the team. But beyond that, we are very much want to make you feel like you're having an effect in this story, which is cool. So that's GalNet, that's community goals. We couldn't possibly be doing anything else, could we, Bruce? There's nothing else we've got.
So we have other little things sprinkled in throughout. I think we've done similar things in the past here and there, maybe not extensively, but just to give the community goals and events happening through GalNet a bit more flavor and make them a bit more tangible in the Elite Dangerous universe, we're going to be introducing sort of bonus events whereby activities that you perform in game will have, say, increased or slightly different rewards based on the narrative and the things that are happening in those events. So just to put it into context and give an example, say there was some combat related event and you had to hunt down a certain group, you would receive an increased number of credits for those particular combat bombs, bounty vouchers, that kind of thing. And this doesn't just apply to credits, it will apply to all sorts of rewards and things that you can earn in game, just to add that extra little bit of flavor to your gameplay.
Yeah, I mean, I'm seeing a lot of questions. People shouting, saying Thargoids question mark. I will tell you this much, and this is not spoilers. I will not, and I've said under pain of death, the team will not talk about any of these arcs. I will tell you this much: there is going to be something for everybody within this. What we've planned out. We made sure that everyone. I'm fairly confident saying that everyone will be catered for. There will be something in here for everyone, and these aren't just going to be short events that run for a little bit and stop, and then you have to wait for them to cycle around. Everything will link, everything will build, everything will take time. We really wanted to make you feel like you're investing in a bigger picture, and there are certain things that are coming that are, frankly, going to blow your socks off, but I'm really excited for them. But just be prepared. There's other stuff coming. The other thing I'm really keen for, as well, is that. Because I'm a big kid. If you can see my words, I could turn my camera, but I'd never get back in position because being slightly chunky, it takes about 4 hours for me to position the camera, so I feel comfortable. But around me is a lot of paraphernalia of like Transformers and stuff like that. I love anything that's cool. and geekier and allows me to immerse myself. And one of the things we're going to be doing as well that's coming back is we're having fun around seasonal events. So expect certain things to be happening at certain times of the year. So definitely around the holidays, around sort of Christmas time and stuff, there'll be stuff happening. And there might be something very, very cool happening, or very fun, spooky, whatever you want to say it, happening in October. So that I'm really excited for it because I love all this sort of jazz. So that's kind of where we're at for some of the content that we've spoken about. We've spoken about narrative. We've spoken about the length of that narrative and its plan. We've spoken about community goals. We've spoken about bonus activities. We've spoken about season activities. I think what we should do right now is, so I can have a look through the chat, 'cause the chat is moving pretty fast at the moment, so I'm going to try and go and have a look at some of the questions. Bruce, I'm going to ask you to try and rescue some more civilians whilst I do this.
All right.
So it's not just me scanning. I can go through and answer some questions, and
yeah,
you
no
won't
problem.
feel under pressure that I'm just
I'll try and keep an eye on chat as well. So if we do, blow some refugees out of the airlock, that's
well, that would be deliberate if you blow out the airlock. I mean, let's not crash. Let's do that. Let's just not crash. Right, I'm going to flick back to the game. So there we go, Bruce. I'm external camera still, so I will flick to internal because I'm fairly certain my camera skills will be terrible whilst we might be all right. We might be all right. So I'm going to go and have a little look in chat and see what we've got going on. Can you say about Planet Tech? I saw a question there from Kai asking about Planet Tech. I will be talking about Planet Tech in a little bit. Actually, there is at the end of this, I have some questions and answers from the previous dev diary that I will run through real quickly. So I will tell you something a little bit about Planet Tech then. So if you hold on, I will definitely talk about Planet Tech. Will there be hats including birthday hats? Perhaps on stream. We should maybe have birthday hats on stream. Let's do that. Will people still be able to submit community goals or player groups to build out closer from? Undecided as yet whether players will be able to submit this. The reason being is the storyline we've crafted is very, very tight. It's something I can explore. It's something I will explore, but I do not want to start blowing gaskets in people's minds that I've just spent the past 9-10 weeks writing a plot, and I go in and say, can we do this? But let me explore that one for you. One thing I haven't mentioned, but it's a good nudge, so whoever wrote about that, so you jump into your Super Cruise, is we will be bringing back stuff like tourist beacons and putting in some bits for players on tourist beacons. I want to name some stations. I want to name some. I want to show some love back to the community, so that will be coming back in. How I go about doing that, I'm not entirely certain. I appreciate people probably been waiting a long time. Please appreciate I'm relatively new to Frontier. We know we're here to save people. We will. So we will bring those back in.
Please remain calm.
So there we go. So, one thing I do love about this as well is the comms. Listening to the panic comms as you go into these stations, and the music. Everything about this is super, super eerie. So real fun about that. Again, apologies about the settings on my graphics. This is my my older PC, my new one, which is a really nice PC. Just decided to not work today, which is fantastic. It's just what I needed before I went into a very important stream.
Yeah, I do like the atmosphere of the damaged stations. From like you say, the visuals to the sound effects, even the UI and the HUD like being distorted and staticky, all sort of adds to the.
That was a clean entry, Bruce.
The atmosphere. Thank you. Straight in.
Alex says, please remain calm whilst the whole station's there. I mean, the real MVPs here are the announcers, right? Because they're just sat in their office just going, hey guys, be real careful when you come in here. We're all
basically
burning to death.
Basically, the "This is fine" dog is those guys in front of the PA.
It's entirely that mean. Entirely that mean. People asking questions about the Neo-Maris Liberation Army. What I would say to that is if there will be more information on those as that plot unfolds. I'm sure commanders will be involved in exploring stuff about those guys.
Temperature critical.
Commander Roland says, "Are you telling us that generally humans humans are capable of executing attacks the same as Thargoids?" Sorry, I might paraphrase that last bit because the chat's sped past. What I will say is the damage you're seeing is deliberate. I will say it's stuff you guys have to work out. Yeah, there is no auto docking at damage stations. That is a no-go, unfortunately.
Warning, temperature critical.
People saying I should be bringing heat sinks. Yeah, I mean,
I'm
that's
just seeing
probably
pop a heat sink. Yeah,
that is a useful option, but I think we'll be in and out in time.
Yeah, I mean, I think one of the things that not people forget, so I think people maybe don't realise, is that on our stream days, especially on days like today, we are very, very busy behind the scenes with a lot of other stuff that's happening. And we desperately don't want to look like idiots on stream, so we kind of just patch together a ship and fly out. And oftentimes we forget the most basic stuff. Like, we knew we were going into a burning station. We knew that, well, last night we knew what we were going to do. But we just forgot to add heat sinks. So, yeah.
That's not a problem.
It's not a problem.
We're out in time. We'll be able to...
When you've got a pilot like Bruce, you haven't got to worry about it.
That's exactly right. We'll be able to fix ourselves right up once we drop off these passengers at the rescue ship.
All Bruce did is picked up a load of raw burgers to cook on the hull. So once we pick refugees up, they are getting their food cooked for them on the way out. It's actually just a really nice, economic way of feeding the people we're picking up.
Yeah, we did turn the ship into a bit of an oven there.
I do apologise everyone if I'm missing some questions here. The chat is moving rapido.
2, 1, engage.
Galactic grill. Yeah.
Oops, sorry, I was too busy looking at the chat. There we go. Whoosh. Swing and a miss. Time to loop it.
Someone's asked about rewards from CGs. There will be various rewards for CGs. Some of them might be decals and paint jobs. Other things might be stuff like... I'm trying to think what I can give. It's really hard to... It's really... Just, do you know what? I say I know how Tom Holland feels. I don't know what it feels like to be actually fit and able with a full head of hair, multi-million pounds in the bank, and a budding film career. So I don't know what Tom Holland feels like. But I do know now what it feels like to have classified information or a plot, and you're terrified to say that stuff. There will be rewards. There will be rewards for completing CGs. Some of them will be in-game rewards. Some of them will be stuff like you may be affecting a price for a certain thing, or even grander than that. But I can't say too much.
Yeah, absolutely. We've made sure.
Flintlock has said I should have put I've got the extra pip and I've got it sat in weapons. Like it's any use to anyone.
That is brutal. There's not even weapons on this ship.
There isn't. However, I will say this, Captain Flintlock. If you watched Bruce and I play Struggling the other day, you'll know that Bruce does not help me in any way, shape, or form when we're trying to stream. In fact, he actively tries to sabotage me. So I don't see why I should be giving it, but I will, because I'm nice. I'm not.
I don't know what you mean. We absolutely blasted through that play session after I decided to, start helping out.
Yeah. But that was a good point out. Yeah, it was a good shout. Will stories spill over into Colonia? Quite possibly. Again, I will not. This is more a shame to say. Like, this is what we're coming back to say. The scope of the project we've put in place. I will not go into details about sort of plot lines, and that's not because I don't know what they are. It's because I'm terrified of giving this away. A lot of hard work from Lawrence and the writing team went into this, and I really don't want to balk that up by just being over eager.
Docking successful. Engines disengaged.
Will there be unlocking of permit areas for nebulas? I mean, permits are rewards, I guess, in terms. So possibly, I'm not going to say what it's for or where. Right, I'm going to bring back to the main How'd you get on there, Bruce?
Yeah, we did all right. We
It's 2
managed
runs.
to deliver, our second lot of passengers, so I
Easy,
call that
right?
a success.
Easy. We might even. What time? We've got 20 minutes. Probably, maybe won't have time. Probably won't have time. So we've done 2 successful runs. I have done no successful runs. I crashed once, so I've actually killed more people than I've saved, which is great news. I'm trying to get through some of the questions. What I will do at the moment, actually, is whilst I've got some time, is answer some of the questions from the previous dev diary and give you an update. I guess that's another bit of good news. Give you an update on the next dev diary. So how about I do that? Now, I'm apologising. I'm going to look at my notes where I've got the questions listed, because there's a lot of them. I don't know why I'm using the mouse. It's on my laptop. I'm actually moving this mouse around, and it's on my laptop in front of me. So if you notice I'm getting redder and redder, it's because all the screens are on and my door's locked behind me. So I'm literally boiling in here. It's like playing in 4D. Right, so these are some of the questions that came up from the previous dev diary. And I'm going to whiz through these, not in too much detail, because we will put a blog post out after this, which will go into a little bit more detail. And there'll be some questions I won't say on stream, because it's a lot to take in. There's stuff here about organics, but I will leave that for the blog post, and you can have a look at what we say about organics on the blog post. So one of the questions that came up in chat is will Odyssey's planetary improvements be applied to existing landable planets without atmosphere? In short, the new tech that we're working on will be applied to every single planet in the game. So yes, everything is going to get a touch of love. So everything will change. It's not just planets you can land or thin atmosphere planets. Every single planet within Elite Dangerous will have an upgrade with the new planetary tech. So that's good news for everybody. Will atmospheres be breathable in Odyssey? No. There's a short answer. Thin atmospheres, they're not going to be breathable. There is a fluffy way of saying that, but basically the answer is no. And there's a reason for that. A lot of that is purely based around sort of, well, not purely, but it's science, but also there's gameplay stuff that revolves around your suit, which makes things more fun and engaging and stuff like that. So no, the thin atmospheres will not be breathable. One of the questions was, there were different suits shown in the dev diary. Will they be available to all types of commander? So the answer to that is yes. All suits will be available to all commanders, no matter of gender or body type. Every single suit that you see will be available to every type of commander. There are not set specific types of suit for types of commander. There's another question in here about suits, which is, are there different types of suits? And the answer is, or how many different types of suits are there? Now, there are a number. I'm not going to give you a specific number because I'm not allowed. But there are a number of suits that are available, will be available for commanders in Odyssey. And yes, some of these suits will have a specific function for a specific task. That's all I'm going to say on it. And one last question, which is, will the suits have a flashlight? Which at first I was like, well, of course they will. But then I thought, actually, no, maybe they won't. The answer is, in fact, yes, they will have a flashlight. But that's as long as you've got power to your suit. So yeah, that's some of the questions from the dev diary answer. I hope that makes sense. I've lost my chat, so I need to just pop that window back up again real quick. There it is. Chat is still moving quite fast.
Still moving
for
rapidly,
scuba diving. Yeah. I mean, if this suit survives in space, I think you'll be all right scubaing in your suit. Call the suit fuel rats. That'd be quite fun. Some people are speculating combat suits and power armor. I can't talk to you about it. So obviously we had a few other announcements this week. There's a detailed blog post on that. One of the things I will tell you about the next dev diary, so it's a couple of things I'm going to tell you. So it's been filmed. They're now busy editing it to put it together and doing the scripting for it all. It will be with us as soon as we can get it to you. We'll get it out. One of the things I've been allowed to share with you, because I think it will be important, I think people will be excited to know what's coming in the next dev diary, or certainly one of the things that's coming in the next dev diary, is that one of the things we're going to show and will be featured will be a station interior. So the next dev diary will be your first look around a station interior from, I don't know, I guess a first person's perspective, which I'm super excited for you guys to see for the first time. And then I think it will give you an idea of a lot of the stuff that we are aiming for, and the devs are working really, really hard at putting together. I've seen a lot of questions about everything's going to be procedurally generated and etc. There's a lot of handcrafting going to a lot of these places. Some of it maybe not, but a lot of time has been spent to a lot of different locations here. They're spending a lot of time and love and care in this stuff. Please don't think it's as easy as just pressing the button and being. They're spending an awful lot of time in this stuff. We know it's important. What else are we going on here? I actually can't read. Maybe I'm too old. When I will get. Oh, as soon as I get a date for the dev diary, we'll post it. It's just literally as simple as that. As I said before, when I have the news, I'll give it to you. I'm very big on being honest and open. I don't have a dev diary date for you. If I did know it, I would tell you. I did push really, really hard today, actually, to say I'd love to end the stream or towards the end of the stream, give some notes on the exact date of the next dev diary. But unfortunately, we just can't do that and stick to it. So I'll give you a date when we know it's definitely coming.
All right. I see some players asking if there's going to be new ships included in Odyssey. That is yet to be confirmed. Sorry, we can't tell you just yet, but maybe closer to the time.
What else we got here? What are those posters behind you, man? Well, those posters, I'm sure you can read them, are XCOM posters. I worked on XCOM, and I was given them. So that's in my little man cave. I will show you the man cave if you want to see my man cave. I mean, I'm happy to show you all. It's very nerdy, but I don't think you're going to want to see that. I guess. Someone said new Thar Guide content. I said it right at the start. Every single person who has an interest in Elite and aspects of Elite will be catered for in these stories. I will not tell you when, and I guarantee you, at least I hope if we've done our job right, you won't even see the story arcs coming until they hit you and you'll be like, that's what that was for and that's why that happened, etc., etc. Although that said, you're a smart bunch, so probably not. I mean, I'm sitting here thinking I'm being all Machiavellian and being like, I've got all these plans and they'll never, like Scooby-Doo, and I've got away with it with one of those pesky kids. So probably you probably will work it out. But yeah, so people asking about specifics. I can't tell you specifics. I can tell you that everything. I believe we've covered everyone's sort of. There's something there for everyone in these stories. Yeah, I know. I realised as I said that I've thrown the gauntlet down. You'll never work it out, and everyone's like, well, now we definitely will work it out. Yep.
Yeah, I trust the community and the theory crafters to do all the digging required to work things out. But it's really a question of time, I think. How many pieces will we have to release before they're all put together and things get discovered? And then you never know. It may be that everything points to one conclusion, and then suddenly the story has a villainous or unexpected twist or a plot change that you didn't see coming.
I saw a question there saying I missed all of it. I do apologise again. The chat has been really, really fast. I'm trying to get through as many questions as I can. And again, I'm being as honest as I can be. Someone asked about community goals and fleet carriers. I will say this. We will be adjusting what we're doing. There will be a little element of us finding a good middle ground here because fleet carriers are new, right? Since community goals will have come back, fleet carriers will be a new element. And we need to assess how fast players will be able to work through certain community goals and adjust them accordingly. So there may be a tiny bit of us just sort of working that through and looking at data. That's me being entirely honest, and I'm not going to lie to you and say like we can definitely without, because who knows what people are going to do until they do it, and until we start seeing what you guys get up to, and you're very, very good at sort of surprising us. So we need to just make sure that we're ready to them and react to that as well. Someone's asked about redacted being reached. Obviously, redacted. Can't speak about that. What else are we going on here?
I've seen a couple of people asking about player-submitted community goals and GalNet articles. So Arthur alluded to this earlier and said we're going to get back to you on how much we plan, or if at all, to work in or weave in player-generated stories as part of the sort of official narrative. That said, we always love to see it when you guys band together and drive your own stories and create your own plots and lore. And we've always been very supportive and would always encourage that regardless of our involvement. So don't be discouraged at all by everything we're saying today. The game is still very much yours to role play in and create stories as you wish, in tandem with what we're doing.
I just saw someone. I again, apologies, I missed the name. Do you have a flowchart that says if community do A, go B? I'll be honest, kind of. Like we kind of that like the stories of the arcs are worked out in such a way that we kind of know where they'll go if the end point is A or B. So yeah, kind of that's how it's worked out. I'll be honest. I'll give you a little bit of insight. And it's not me or anyone teaching anyone psychics, because anyone can create stories, and we encourage you to. But we decided we'd start at the end and we work backwards. So we knew we were going towards, and we worked all the way back to where we are, and all the parts in between that what we had to achieve to get to this end point for the end of this big story arc. So that's what we did, and then worked our way back, and obviously that took some time and a lot of effort. Sorry, I was reading somebody, and I missed something about Arthur and Eagle. I didn't know it was referring to Arthur the bald eagle, but I missed it. If you didn't say bald eagle, you missed an amazing pun. I apologise if I missed the question.
So Idly Wise has asked, what about GalNet covering in-game news stories? So to sort of clarify GalNet, it is going to be supporting the narrative like we described, and especially things that happen with community goals, but also, the surrounding events in the galaxy, which aren't necessarily activities that will be tangible or for you to actively go to. They'll also be adding flavor and just letting you know about events that are happening elsewhere. But what we wanted to be very mindful of and very deliberately do is avoid GalNet articles which encourage you to go somewhere and see or do something and then actually not have anything there, because we know that's the thing that's happened in the past, and we really wanted to avoid that. So we're going to work quite hard to make sure that when a GalNet article is encouraging you to go somewhere or do something, there is something tangible in game to get involved with. And if it's not doing that, it's just descriptive and explaining something that's happening narrative or lore wise, that would be quite clear in the article itself.
Cool. Someone's just arrived and just said anybody able to send me what's been discussed so far. A real quick recap for you. GalNet is back. CGs are back. Bonus events are back. Seasonal events are back. We have a narrative that runs till 2022. I guess that's a pretty good recap. Bruce saved some people. Arthur killed some people. In game, I might add. They can't prove the other stuff. None of that was proven. So I guess that's a real brief recap of where we're at. I'm going to see if I've missed any more questions in here. I saw, was it Commander Zulu Romeo was a birthday? So happy birthday! If you can wish Commander Zulu Romeo happy birthday, that'd be great. Happy birthday to you! Hope you're having a great day. Hope this news has added some positivity or some happiness on the day. As I said, I think you can tell Bruce and I are very, very excited for today's stream. I'll be honest, before we came on, I did say I'm actually quite nervous because I really want the community to be happy with the news we're giving, because I'm actually really happy to do it. Oh, it's very nice everyone saying happy birthday. It's cool. That's really cool. Yeah,
happy birthday, Zulu. Yeah, no, we both had sort of the butterflies, I guess, the excitement before being on stream. We were talking about it, and just how excited we are to deliver this news as you guys are to hopefully to hear it.
I think to send us out, Bruce, I think you should do one more run. I think
all right,
that can be. I can then look at the chat. We can do one more run. I mean, you're doing. I think our run takes you about. I'm going to say you can do it in 10 minutes. Easily do it in 10 minutes.
Yeah, easy peasy.
So I'll put you back into the game, and then I can have a look through chat again.
All right.
Just see me going.
I've just seen Osric's reply, and yeah, you're right. The sort of quote unquote fluff articles are important too. I think something we also wanted to bear in mind when deciding a lot of this narrative stuff is we wanted to not just have one thing happening in the galaxy at a time, because that doesn't feel very deep or rounded. We want to have multiple narratives and threads and stories happening simultaneously so that the universe feels, alive and full of activity.
Yeah.
That was really important to us.
I saw a question that said, what is that map behind me? That map behind me actually is a souvenir. I owned a business for 11 years called Extreme Gaming, which is like a LAN centre in the capital of Essex. And that was from our bunker downstairs. And when we closed the shop, when they went on to do events only, and I moved into community management, sort of this side of the industry, I wanted to keep something to remind me of our first ever themed room. So that's what that is. Thank you for noticing. It's actually a map of Colchester showing the effects of a nuclear blast, so that's cheery. What else have we got?
Frameshift drive charging. 4, 3, 2.
Do you know what? I know what the CG is going to be. I'm not going to say what it is. You don't want to see me. We want to watch. Oh, you want to watch? Can you see the game though? Right? You can see the game. You can see Bruce's dude just in here. Look, there's Bruce.
Hello. I would wave, but I'm kind of stuck to my seat for the time being. I'm looking forward to that changing though.
Maybe that's because she's such a strategic target. I don't think it was necessarily strategic. It's actually a garrison town, but I wouldn't have thought it's strategic. There.
Clear for approach, Commander. Please remain calm.
People asking a lot about story arcs and stuff like that, and who's connected to what. I won't tell you what it is because, and even I don't want to hint at it because I'll be honest, I'm rubbish at hints. Because I want people to get it. I'm one of those people that, you know, when you buy someone a present at Christmas, and you go like, oh, do you want to open it? And like you actively encourage them to open the present because you want them to know what it is. That's me. I'm that person. And then if they say no, I'm like, well, do you want a hint? And then they won't. No, I don't want a hint. I'm like, well, it's something you really like. I'm terrible, so I won't give anything away about plot lines or arcs because you'll get it. You'll definitely get it. Not get it, but you'll understand what the community goal is going to be. I think it's something people will be happy for. Lots of questions about things that are posted today and the damage on the station and is it deliberate, etc, etc, etc. I am not going to go into details. What I will tell you is it was deliberate. Oh, I've taken my eye off the ball. What's happening, Bruce? This doesn't look
I'm
good.
not sure. I don't know if I was struck by something or I just suddenly sort of lurched forward there. That was a bit weird.
Struck by the jitters, mate. I think you're in
Don't
trouble.
think I boosted.
It's alright,
That's a bit strange.
You've still got 87% hull. You're fine.
Alright, I'm going to try and land again.
Bruce is going to die. He's not. He's not.
Alright, we've touched down.
He's touched down. See? Never worried.
Taking heat damage.
Explosions will do that. Yeah, no, that makes sense.
So yeah, this is a very interesting sort of game loop. I enjoy this. I'm not as good as Bruce is in the Beluga. I do enjoy doing this in the smaller ship. I did these in previous station attacks in my ASP, and I had a lot of fun doing it in the ASP because you can really. I mean, saying that, I was watching Malik VR doing this earlier on, and my God, he put me to shame. He was literally just cartwheeling into the station through like the flames and the fire and just touching down. So I was just like, great. I literally look like someone who's just put on his L plates and flown out. How did people get past? How did the NMLA get past station defences? These are all good questions.
Warning. Taking heat
Another
damage.
question about the terror attack and its sort of origins and the connection to the Thargoids. This is all for you guys to speculate and discover and investigate.
Landing gear retracted.
You are clear of the landing pad. Do not
The origins of these attacks are certainly unclear for the time being.
Yeah. What I will say is I'm really pleased to see a lot of speculation. This is why we know that these goals are, or these news articles are really important to people. Because it gets the community involved with each other. These are all good questions.
Frameshift drive charging. 4, 3, 2,
They're saying that, they're saying that the Marlinists were disguised as the Marlin fish, and that they snuck on board in a fish crate, which would be incredible if that was actually the truth.
I don't know. Sounds more like a red herring to me.
That is one of the worst. I don't even think you're old enough to give dad jokes, Bruce. You can't do that.
As well afterwards. The long silence afterwards was really appreciated there.
I had to process everything that was just said to me, and it was a real short comment, Bruce, but I had to sit and I was like, did Bruce? He did, and he meant it. You're fine. Bruce, you're in a lot of trouble. If this is what we're counting now, at your age, I'd fear for you, my friend. Basically stop going to functions and parties by the time you hit 30, because you're just going to be such a buzzkill, man. Just
oh jeez, does it bode that poorly?
Yes it does. No, I'm joking. That was really, really funny, Bruce.
You've said what you had to say already. I'm not going to accept any other platitudes from you, Arthur. All right, I think we're nearing the end of our trip and our stream. I think we're starting to get a bit ratty with each other, as we often want to do if we're in the same call for too long.
Let me flick us back to main. Okay, that's basically it. Just to recap, guys. What you're seeing today is just the start of a very big piece of work that everyone at Frontier has been working very, very closely on. We're really excited that you're excited for it. Bruce and I can't wait for you to start putting on the threads that we're leaving for everyone. Thank you for being so supportive. Thank you for all your patience. Thank you for joining us on this chat and being so, well, just chatting with us. There will be a blog post that will go up after this, and it will sort of go into detail with stuff we discussed and probably some of the bits we've missed. As I said, we were very, very excited coming onto the stream to talk to you guys and girls about it all. So I guess that's it from me. Bruce, any last words? Any puns?
No more puns. I will spare you and everyone who's watching. Just a big thank you for everyone who's turned out to watch us, and thank you so much for playing Elite Dangerous. We're so excited and happy, like we've said, to share this news with you and everything that's going to be coming from this point forwards. Really, really looking forward to it, and we hope you guys enjoy everything we have to share with you.
Okay, guys, that's it, and we will see you, I guess, on Monday. We'll see you soon, guys. All right, take care. Have a good evening. Bye-bye.
07 Commanders. Bye-bye.